following the emergence of Mr. Biodun Oyebanji as the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress in the Ekiti gubernatorial election. The APC standard-bearer will have his work cut out, uniting the party ahead of the poll. Oyebanji, a seasoned administrator and former secretary to the Ekiti State Government, clinched the ticket of the APC in a contentious primary election yesterday. The primary was marred by protests and calls for the cancellation of the exercise by other contestants who felt that it had been skewed to favor Oyebanji. Well, now joining us from Ekiti, the Ekiti State capital, to discuss the concerns raised over the conduct of the primary election and how he intends to unite party members before the governorship poll is Biodun Oyebanji, the gubernatorial candidate of the APC in the forthcoming election in the state. He will also be telling us why he wants to govern Ekiti and his plans for the state. Good morning, Mr. Oyebanji, and thank you for joining us on the morning show.
Good morning.
Yes, very quickly. Well, I don't know whether to congratulate you yet, because 7 other aspirants in that race yesterday, they've written to the party. They are asking that the process should be cancelled. Another, election committee should be constituted, and that they think that there is an attempt by Kayode Fayemi, the governor of Ekiti State, to impose you on the party, and that they think what happened yesterday fell short of the standards of internal democracy. What do you say to that? What's your response?
Well, thank you so much, Doc. Yesterday's process was credible, it was free, it was fair. And a level playing field was provided for all the contestants. We had a stakeholder meeting a day previous to the election where we agreed on the modes of engagement. All aspirants agreed. And I left the venue of the meeting for my village to vote. And the report I got yesterday from all the 177 wards is that people came out, they were accredited in accordance with the guidelines of the party, and they were counted, and the result has been declared. With respect to the protest by the 7 other aspirants, I recognize their right to protest, and I know that the party is imbued with internal mechanism to resolve this issue as a party. And as one of them too, I've started reaching out to a few of them, and we are talking, and hopefully I'm confident that all those issues will be resolved. Thank you.
Well, that will be up to the Jigawa State Governor Abubakar Badaru, I imagine, to resolve the current fracas, because with APC, it's another day, another fracas, quite frankly. What do you think he will do at this point? And will you also be amenable to some kind of meeting or resolution to avoid what has happened in the past with APC, where disgruntled members who feel cheated now end up working with the opposition?
Well, I've already started that. I've reached out to some of them. We are in conversation, and in the next few days, I'll be going to them one-on-one to further and to deepen the already agreed conversations with them. I believe strongly that the APC is strong, and the APC has inbuilt mechanism to resolve issues arising from the contest. In every context, there will be different views and opinions. And it behoves on each and every one of us to bend back and resolve the issue in the interest of our people, in the interest of the state, and in the interest of the party. And I'm confident that all those things will be done.
So the first question I'll ask you, do you think this is a fair game? You polled 101,703 votes. The person that came second to you polled 760 votes. Is that an affirmation of your popularity? That's one. Number two, some of these candidates they've started saying things. Straight off the bat, they are saying that they're going to work with the opposition party, that no way you're going to go around it, and they're not ready to talk to you. So I'd like to know those you have called and you have spoken to. But 101,000 votes, and the second person polled 760, you must be terribly popular.
Well, it's a combination of both. My supporters came out to vote for me. I learned that APC in Ekiti State, we have over 180,000 registered members. In the morning of the election, there was a publication by the aspirant that the election has been postponed. So that might have been responsible for why their supporters did not come out to vote. But the committee organizing the primaries insisted that the election must go on. So we mobilized and we brought out our supporters to vote. But be that as it may, we are duty-bound to ensure that we embark on reconciliation to bring together everybody so that we can approach the election as a united family. My attitude is this is a family issue, and it will be resolved amicably.
I asked that. Who have you been talking to? Because the other candidates are saying there's no chance, there's no way. Who have you called? Who have you been talking to? Because a lot of people are predicting doom for the APC.
Permission to disclose identity on here.
Okay.
Okay, but I mean, if you are talking about... Hello? I didn't hear him. Hello? Can you hear me? Yeah, I was saying,
yeah.
If you are saying everything will be resolved, at some point you will still need to talk to them. But let's leave that aside. Now, is it true that you are the candidate of the governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi? We need to clarify that, because what they are saying is that the entire process was skewed in your favor, that most of the members of the election committee, those in charge of the processes, they were all persons handpicked by the governor in an attempt to achieve a predetermined outcome. And then beyond that, let's even go beyond the politics. What exactly do you have to offer the people of Ekiti State?
Well, three questions in one. Dr. Kayode Fayemi is the leader of the party in the state. There's no party member that doesn't have a relationship with him. I've known Governor Fayemi for 20 years, and I've worked with him as governor for 7 years. In those 7 years, he has given me assignments in various ministries and in various capacities, and I have discharged myself creditably well. But that does not give me an exclusive preserve of a relationship with him. All of us in this race have one relationship with Dr. Fayemi, and we are all close to him. Going forward on what I intend to do as a governor, if elected, we have a development agenda in the state. We have a development plan in the state, and we will continue to ramp up on areas where we have not finished what we are doing as a government, and we also engage in conversation with the people to ask them for what else they want us to do. In my campaign for the primaries, I went around Ekiti State for 4 times, and their feedback I've taken from party members. And in the build-up to the campaign too, we will set the agenda and the manifesto of the party to them. We take feedback from them. One unique selling point of the Kayode Fayemi administration is the fact that we always ask the people what they want us to do for them. And this changes. It changes regularly, so we go to them on a quarterly basis to ask them that, okay, we have done this, what else do you want us to do? We will continue in that trajectory. And but 3 things will be very fundamental, which we are going to put in the front burner: security, employment for our teeming youth, and growing the state economy to make the people prosperous.
Well, you didn't quite address that point about you being the anointed candidate. You sort of cleverly sidestepped it. But you must be aware, BAO, that is the general perception about you. Not that it's necessarily bad. So give us your credentials. You've been part of the Ekiti governance machine since 1999 under Otumba Niyi Adebayo. So you really have some experience. So tell us about your experience. Tell us how you will bring all of that to bear to serve the people, should you be given a chance to become their governor.
Well, thank you so much. Ekiti State as a state is 25 years old. We've had 22 years of democracy in Ekiti State. Out of that 22 years, I have served the state in various capacities for 11 years. I started as a special assistant to Otumba Niyi Adebayo, a special advisor, and I carved it up as his chief of staff. When we left the government, I went back to my private business, and I had the opportunity of chairmaning the Governing Council of Citizenship and Leadership Training Center. It's a parastatal under Federal Ministry of Youth. And later, when Governor Fayemi came back in the first missionary journey, I was Commissioner for Integration. I was head of Office of Transformation Strategy and Delivery, and I ended as Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning. So I had 3 appointments in 4 years. And in the second term in office, I was the SSG till I resigned in December 7th last year. And all this public office has opened me to understanding the nuances of governance in the state. I have worked closely with 2 governors that have done so well. I've seen them taking very hard decisions. I've seen them making mistakes and correcting themselves. And I've seen them arriving at policies that will better the lot of our people. So these 11 years that I've spent being mentored by these great men will come handy in my attempts to develop Ekiti State. And I have been part and parcel of all the development agenda of this state. When the state was to be created, I was the Secretary, Committee for Creation of Ekiti State. I was part and parcel of the team that drafted the master plan for this state. So I have a perfect understanding of the visions of the founding fathers of Ekiti State. All this will assist me in administering our people, and I've been very close to them. I've not left them. I understand their pains. I share their concerns. I understand their language, and that's partly responsible for the votes that I scored yesterday, because they know me very well, and I've been with them all through.
Okay, let me interrogate those votes you scored yesterday. You had 101,000 votes, and you said the total number registered was 180,000 votes for APC members. And I put it to you that you're quite very popular, because in the 2019 elections, Kayode Fayemi emerged with 197,000 votes. So that means you are home and dry. You just need about probably 97,000 votes more to win the candidature in the state when you finally have these elections. But you will be going up against another man supported by the former governor in the state, and that's Peter Ayodele Fayose. One, what would you do differently in this contest? What should be the expectations? And secondly, you talked about you were doing private business at some point before you came back to power. Can you share with the Ekiti people, what were you doing privately? What was your antecedents as a private businessman before you came into government?
Well, Ekiti people knows me to be, I'm into farming, and I started my farm in 2005, and I still run the farm. That is what I've been doing, and they know that, and some of them have been to my farm. And it's a business that is doing so well to the glory of God. Going back to your question with respect to what we do differently on the campaign, we will sell our manifesto to our people. There are promises, we will remind them of the promises made by Governor Kayode Fayemi and which he has fulfilled. And thank God, these are projects that resonate with the people, and they are dotted all over Ekiti State, all over communities in Ekiti State. There's no community in Ekiti State that this government has not implemented 2 or 3 projects, minimum. We will refresh their memory with respect to that. And we will let them know that we can do more. And the need for them to continue with a government that have served their interest for the past 3 years. And we should continue to serve their interest till October this year.
Wait a minute. Are you campaigning on Governor Kayode Fayemi's record or your personality? Because I keep saying you tell them that Governor Fayemi did this. Is it based on his record or you? Who is the candidate on the ballot, Governor Fayemi or you? Because you once denied that you are not his candidate, but it's obvious that you're his candidate because you're campaigning on his record.
I was his secretary to the state government, so there's no way I can remove myself from his government. And I'm going to benefit from his achievement. The decision that will be taken in June 18 will be a combination of the performance of Governor Kayode Fayemi and the expectation of the people about my personnel. So the two will work together. If a government has done well and a candidate wants to run on the platform of the party that produced that government, definitely that candidate benefits from the performance of that government. On my own, the people understand me very well. They know me. And this is not the first time we're doing business together. And they can assess my competence, my character, and my compassion for them. And we also be campaigning on a manifesto that is being developed. And in the next few weeks, we are going to unfold the manifesto and make it very clear to the people. But there's no way I'm going to run this campaign without a reference to the performance of Governor Kayode Fayemi. He's a member of APC. I'm going to run on APC platform, so the two will go hand in hand. And because he has done well, he's going to assist my campaign.
You're saying that the crisis, let's call it that, in APC Ekiti will be resolved. But this is the same crisis that involves about 7, 8, contenders for the position. And they are not just ordinary people. They've also been in the system for a long time. Dayo Adeyeye with considerable influence. Okoyemi Bamidele, the same for the others also. Now, what gives you the confidence that the matter will be resolved eventually in your favor? Because it looks like they are going to go on appeal. And they've also reported this matter. They've reported this matter to the police, to INEC, to DSS, and there's also a group called AU ECOSOC, an observer group that is also alleging that there was fraud involved in the process that threw you up. Are you really comfortable, with the victory that was announced for you yesterday?
Well, I'm very comfortable, Ruben, for 2 reasons. Those are allegations that have been investigated, so we wait for the result of the investigation. That's number 1. Number 2, I have personal relationship with all of these aspirants, and I'm sure that they are great men in their own right. They want the best for the state. They want the best for the party. And in the spirit of ensuring that Ekiti State develops and we don't rupture the APC, reason we prevail, we will talk to them, and at the end of the day, I'm so confident that it's going to be resolved.
You're running...
I'm very confident.
Well, as you've said, a platform of continuity. Let's talk about gains made by the Fayemi administration and that you will want to build on. Let's talk about agriculture. You recently had your Ekiti Rice Pyramid Scheme. Let's talk about the investments that have been attracted to Ekiti, youth employment and empowerment. Just tell us in specific terms how you're going to address these issues and build on these achievements.
Well, with respect to agriculture, our policy thrust is in ensuring that we create an enabling environment for big-time agric investors to come to the state. We want to transit from seeing agric as subsistence agriculture to business. We want to ensure that farmers are able to make reasonable income from agriculture. We have an agric processing zone that we have set up, and in that zone we have provided security, we have provided infrastructure for private investors to play. And as I speak to you today, Ekiti State has been segregated into agro-processing zone. And in our cassava processing zone, we have, as of today, 4 big cassava industry that they have set up, and they have engaged our farmers in outgrower schemes. So most of those farmers that grow cassava are now working with them. Security have been provided, and before the end of this administration, 1 or 2 of them will start processing starch from Ekiti State. On the rice pyramid, we have distributed the paddies to farmers using their cooperative society, and they have been linked with Ministry of Agric to ensure that they follow through with right advice, with the correct extension services so that they can have the best yield from what has been given to them. And also, we have rice mill factories in the state. We have JMK. We have Dangote rice mill. So this rice mill have been linked, the farmers have been linked to this rice mill. So once the paddies are ready, there is an off-taker already that we buy from them. So the whole value chain has been structured, and that is what we are doing with Agric. On youth employment, we have a medium enterprise development agency that deals with youth organizations across the state. They lecture them on skills acquisition, and they help them with seed capital to grow their businesses. The concern of government here is the fact that government cannot alone employ everybody, but at the same time, you can create avenue for startup businesses to get cheaper funds to kickstart their businesses, and they are being mentored. And most of our youth are being engaged in this, and the report has been overwhelming and encouraging. And the other initiative, apart from our Greek and youth development that we are doing in the state, it concerns to women, to our aged people, and to the generality of Ekiti indigenous. Because we realize that also, in as much as government wants to ramp up its delivery on its policies, plan, and programs, it's always very important for us to connect with the various communities. So we have a Bureau of Rural Development that speaks to the need of all communities. The community will sit down together, agree on a project, and government will provide a seed fund that will be managed by the Community Development Association. This has transformed the communal life in Ekiti State. And most of these initiatives are ongoing, and we tend to continue with them.
What if there's a legal battle that comes out from all this process?
Sorry?
What if there's a legal battle from the people that feel disgruntled? What would you do about that?
Well, there's no problem. We continue to talk to them, but if there are legal issues, then it will be resolved legally. It's a question of presenting facts to the court if it gets to that, but I hope that it doesn't.
Okay. Okay, very quickly, in less than a minute, if we can manage that. We've had quite a number of persons coming forward identifying themselves as presidential aspirants for 2023 on the platform of the APC. Who are you likely to support while pursuing your own politics in Ekiti? What are your thoughts? Quickly, please.
The list is still unfolding. So until we have a full list of those that are interested, I won't be able to say anything about that.
You are not part of the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu camp.
I'm not aware of such camp.
No, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has declared his interest. Are you on his side, or you are still waiting for somebody else to emerge? Since he's the leader of the party.
I'm waiting for all of them to emerge.
Okay, so that means you are not enthusiastic
for all of them to
about the BAT project. Okay, thank you very much. We'll take a short break now.
I've not said that, Ruben. I've not said that, Ruben. I have not said that.
I already said something.
I've not said that.
You are trying to be careful. Anyway, don't worry. I understand this here.